and uncommon. You are rare, and you need to start believing that. You need to be very cautious where you put your attention to and who you're answering to. When you carry yourself as a woman that is uncommon, you will begin to attract people that are uncommon. Is that you need to be a woman that is not easily obtained, but rather a woman that is easily lost. What do I mean by that? A woman that is easily obtained and a woman that is easily lost. When you are easy to obtain, there's nothing much to it. You have to be a woman that is hard to obtain. Why? Because you know your worth. When you are a woman that is easily lost, that means that you don't stand for nothing. That means that your happiness comes first. That means that what God is doing in your life and your calling comes first. A woman that is easily obtained is not easily lost, but a woman who is hard to obtain is easily lost. Why? Because when you are hard to obtain, you know your worth. You know what God has said over your life. You know what God is doing in you, and you will not stand for anything that is less your spiritual pay grade. What do I mean by that? Well, Jen, how do I know that I'm settling? How do you know when you're settling? When you have to give up who you are to be with that person. When you have to give a side of you just to be comfortable in a relationship. Relationships are not comfortable. If there is not constant growth, if there is not constant prayer in that relationship, it's gonna get comfortable, and you cannot be a comfortable woman. Listen to me, woman of God. You were called for so much more. You were called for something greater. Don't be staying in seasons where God already took you out. You have to learn how to say no sometimes. Saying no is okay. Saying no, you can't answer this right now. Saying no, I can't be with you right now is an okay answer. Why? Because you are establishing your worth. You should not have to instill worth in any man. Hear me out on this. If a man has to think twice about your worth, he's not the man for you. And what I'm saying is, sometimes we think, man, why isn't this guy looking at my worth this way? Why isn't this guy appreciating me the way that I should be? If God has blinded him on how important you are, let God begin to blind the men around you. Let God begin to blind the girls and women around you. They don't want to hang out with you? Good. Why? Because God is blinding them of your greatness. Understand what I'm saying? The promised land is near. And when you are reaching the promised land, when you are reaching what God has called you to reach, when you are so close, you need to start being crucial with who is in your inner circle, who is with you, who has your number, who's talking to you every day. You need to start being crucial with those things. And hear me out. There's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be happy with that. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to judge you for that. There's going to be a lot of people who will tell you, man, Jen, I was with you in this season. Why aren't you reaching out? Why? Because there's seasons for certain friendships. There's seasons for certain relationships. There's seasons for certain people. But understand, when I'm not living in a season no more, and I'm living in the active calling that God has called me to live in, people have to go. Friendships have to go. Relationships have to go. I've preached about this so many times, and it's almost like it's the hardest thing for people to do. I've learned to be so comfortable with letting go of what God has called me to let go. Why? Because when God is telling me to let go of something, it's because he has something so much better for me in store. And I've learned with God that I'd rather have what he says is for me rather than what I want for me. What I'm saying is really hard. I know what I'm saying is easier said than done. Why? Because I've been there. I know how hard it is to let go of people, things that you thought were for you. But hear me out. When God says it's time to let go, let go. Don't let God have to come and take it from your hands. Give it to him, because when you give it to him, you are sacrificing what you wanted for yourself. And you're telling God, Lord, I will sacrifice everything I have in me just to serve you. So in this day, be an uncommon woman. Be hard to get. Why? Because your ministry is hard to get, because the calling that God has placed over your life is hard to obtain. And no one should just be able to stand next to you. Be crucial with who you pick. So with that being said, stay blessed and bye guys.